All right, so we're gonna try and play some modern today. Remember, chat, the key to not being disappointed in life is low expectations. We've got 4 copies of Remorseful Cleric here in our main deck that may or may not be good enough against various graveyard decks. We've got a bunch of sweepers that should be pretty reasonable against the various creature decks in the format. We've got Field of Runes and Ghost Quarters along with Crucible of Worlds, which means we're probably still dead to Tron. And we've got Ranger-Captain of Eos here and Winds of Abandon out of the new set. Winds of Abandon is interesting. It's like spot removal early and an extra sweep related. It's very good against the other creature decks in the format if you can live to get there. So let's play some matches and see how it goes. It would be decks like this, in my experience, tend to not have an efficient enough clock in order to keep up with the combo decks that are good today. So we'll see. Yeah, it's weird. My spoiler card must have gotten lost in the mail. I don't know. Hey, Full Metal, thank you for the 2 entire years of support. Thanks for keeping me around. I appreciate it. Have a sword to ride to your keep in Hoaglandia. Thraben Inspector, Winds of Abandon. This is tapped, right? Ooh, I like that it lists how many planes I have on it. We got turn 1, planes, turn 2, tapped land. Second Thraben Inspector. The water park was good, V-Ball. We went up Thursday or Friday early afternoon, so I got to spend all of Friday night playing with the kids, and then Christy and one of her friends played on Saturday with them as well. Hey, Squid Squad. Thank you for the 3/4 year. I appreciate it. Welcome back. And Just Up B coming in hot with 3/4 as well. Someone asked if I'm still not sponsored. I am planning to stream some Dota Overlords later this week when it releases, I think. And that should count as my formal audition for the MPL, streaming that. So hopefully we'll be sponsored soon if that goes well. Hey, Zoptic, thanks for the 11 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I miss the deck overview. How do we play? Look, I have win conditions in play right now. I've got double Thraben Inspector. 1/2 for 1. I think I'm going to elect to play Kami of False Hope this turn rather than spend 3 on this Ranger-Captain of Eos. Because they could have like Remand or Mana Leak here, and I'd rather not just run this headlong into it. I can play this 1-drop plus Crack a Clue, which is nice. I will, however, want to play the Ranger-Captain. I will, however, want to play the Ranger-Captain on 3, because once they get to 4, they're going to be able to have Cryptic Command up, which is not ideal for me. I actually made a small mistake last turn. I should have played the fetch land before the blast zone, and thankfully I wasn't punished because this is no justice stream, but my opponent could reasonably be playing Blood Moon. And if they had played Blood Moon, I wouldn't have been able to fetch this Plains out beforehand. The second card, I think you were asking about this one. This is Kamiya False Hope. It's basically fog on a creature. Morning, Jiffa Fish. Deceiver Exarch. Okay. I don't have to worry about this one being lethal for a hot second, which is nice. Because without Splinter Twin in play... Oh! Kamiya False Hope also fogs them for a turn, right? Which is funny. They definitely should have diddled one of the Thraben Inspectors here. Because then I can't attack this into a 1/4. So they saved themselves a point of damage. Or they took an extra point of damage because of their sequencing here. So Ranger-Captain of Eos is a 3/3... that finds a Thraben Inspector, which I don't know if this card's good enough. This seems pretty slow and clunky. I guess it technically can be disruptive for a turn, I suppose, but this is still like running the long con, it feels like, in terms of answering what the opponent has. I suppose that's fair. It's gonna be a wow. Wow, blast zone. That's rude. What a rude opponent. False hope indeed. Another Deceiver Exarch, eh? It sucks we can't cast Winds of Abandon on ourselves. Yeah, that's actually pretty true, huh? So if they want to double block one of these, that's fine, I think. Emeria says target bad fair deck loses the game. That's basically what it says. It's very good in the fair matchups. I haven't played a land yet this turn, so I'm going to crack this clue to try and draw one. Oh, I did play a land. I'm dumb. That's fine. It doesn't matter. We're not doing this turn. We'll probably... I guess we could be dead here. No, we can't be dead because Kami fogged them for a turn. But they could go, filter land, the bluffs, whatever it's called, and then do that. So, I think I enter combat here. I'm going to miss points of damage doing this, but I think I enter combat to see if they have another Exarch. Sweet. Now, here's the real question. Do I sacrifice my 3/3 to guarantee the Winds of Abandon, or do I just, like, not play around Spell Pierce? What are the odds they have Pierce in their main deck? Feels low, and I have a second Winds of Abandon just in case they do. So I'm gonna elect to not play around Spell Pierce and keep my 3/3 here. So again, it was alright. The Water Park was good. Paper Magic's kind of middling. Tournament Paper Magic is just tough. There's just so much waiting. Rabner, thanks for the 25 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. And two-day tournaments are really long. Like, I rode back with Matthew last night because Christy and the kids left in the morning, so I didn't get home till, like, after midnight. Alright, so there goes three of their 3 of their 4 Deceiver Exarchs. That's sweet. You got me. I've been Blood Mooned. Yeah, this is a card out of the new Commander Horizon set. Hey, Iggy, thank you for 17 months. I appreciate it. Yeah, all of the... I posted in the subset score, but I'm going to mention it a couple of times today. The modern numbers for pretty much all the videos we did last week were, like, very reasonable overall on YouTube after the fact. So, we are going to do double modern every day again to start this week. We're still going to do some standard every day as well, but we are going to start off the day with 2 modern leagues. For the time being, and we'll see. We'll reevaluate again next week, depending on how this week goes. Now, notably, they do have enough islands to Cryptic Command here, so they're not guaranteed just dead. Alright. Command for the event sounds like a good idea. Poor Gideon. That's probably a good idea, Bob. I need to remind myself of that so I don't make that mistake again. You just like such the stark contrast between like playing in an all-day paper tournament versus playing in the Magic Arena like qualifier. It's just like such night and day. I think I want to bring in these Gideon to the trials just because they're a 4/4 that kills my opponent. Sun Titan's pretty slow. I'm going to leave in Settle the Wreckage because it does fog their combo for a turn. Same thing with Kami. I don't think this is a Wrath of God matchup. It's definitely not a Lone Missionary matchup. On the second day, I went... You think Settle the Wreckage is silly? Oh, I guess Spyglass can name Kiki. That's fair. You're probably right, Bob. I'll leave a Wog in. We'll leave a Wog in. What was I gonna say? On the second day of the tournament, I played 3 matches, none of which lasted more than 12 minutes on the round clock, and I spent more time resolving mulligans than actually playing games. It was just like, yep. Hey, Bay Cub. Thanks for re-upping that Twitch Prime this way. I appreciate it. Hope you're having a fantastic June. Thanks for keeping me around. Hey, Phoenix, coming in with that brand new Prime Sport. There's a lot of great people you could ship that to every single month here on Twitch. Thanks for sending it my way. Hope you're having a good start to your week. And Kamikaze, welcome back for the 4th month. My powerful 0-4. The nice thing about getting the Wall of Omens on 2 here is that Flickerwisp draws a card on 3, which is nice. So we got that going for us. Hey, Lilithset. Thanks for the 3rd of a year. Welcome back. Don't have to worry about dying for another turn here yet, which is nice. Hey, Paula. Thank you for the very generous Tier 3 re-up. Welcome back. Hope the start of your week is going well. If they were real twin, we could die here. That's not true. If they were real twin, I could blink my planes, then path their thing at end step. For those who blinked and missed it, my opponent just discarded an Emrakul the Aeon's Torn. So apparently they have multiple combos in their deck. Spyglass looks good versus that combo. Listen, missed land drops on their part looks great versus their combo, okay? Alright, deal. Wonder if they have a couple of bolts to finish off Gideon here. Nope. Yep. The fact that they have Emrakul and Breach is really scary because it means if they hit their lands, we're gonna potentially have a real bad time. These field of runes, we're gonna avoid playing this Emeria out, so that way their field of runes don't do anything. Alright, so they're gonna diddle this. This is not standard legal Gideon. This is Gideon of the Trials from the previous season. Hey, Alpstrom. Thanks for the 9 months. We appreciate sending your Prime back this way again. Hope you're having a good one. No, Ghost Quarter is nowhere near strictly better than Field of Rune. Ghost Quarter Ghost Quarter puts you down a land. Field of Ruin, as I just showed by using it, Field of Ruin keeps your lands the same. Oh, you know what? I probably should have pathed this Exarch in response, because now if I try and path this Exarch, I'm going to shuffle away their Jace Storm cards, which is unfortunate. Small mistake on my part here. In fact, Field of Ruin was a really big update, was a really big upgrade to a lot of these fair decks in Modern as far as like land destruction is concerned, because it is a land that keeps you at land parity with your opponent. Hey, Wilson, thanks for the 14 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Could get dispelled here. So I don't really have to worry about any of these stopping Jace off a one-man. I guess we could get like something weird like Vapor Snagged. And we could just basically be dead next turn if they have Breach Emrakul. Maybe I have enough permanents that we can play through that at this point. Yep, unfortunately, have to just play a target out for this. I don't want to skip my land drop while I have a Sun Titan in play. And Sun Titan can pick the Emeria back up, so eventually we're going to be able to get through to that, so that's nice. Start by attacking here. This is my Sun Titan. There are many like him, but this one is mine. Probably just pick back up Flickerwisp and blink the Wall of Omens here. Yeah, opponent just doesn't have a lot going on. God bless us, everyone. Yeah, they balance the colorless utility lands by the fact that like they're colorless these days rather than making them come into play untapped. We are on the scoreboard. And I think like games like that are just like representative of the types of Modern that really make people enjoy the format. And I agree that like playing my bad Modern deck against someone else's bad Modern deck tends to generate some interesting and reasonable games of Magic. The problem with decks like this are when like you run into like, you know, the Dredges and the Trons and like, you know, the really good decks of the format, it almost feels like you're playing different formats of Magic, which is like how powerful the good decks are in proportion to what we're doing. If we can queue into things like Blue-Red Twin and Jund and Blue-White Control, we probably have got a pretty good shot to have some reasonable matches. Alright, Tron. In my experience playing the Tron side of this matchup, even with 4 Field of Runes and a Ghost Quarter, this matchup is still incredibly bad for the deck I'm playing. The opponent's deck has way more consistency and ability to reassemble what it's doing than we have to disrupt what they are doing. Post sideboard, we get a couple copies of Stony Silence, and we get a couple copies of Damping Sphere. But again, the big thing we lack, along with this disruption, is we don't really have an efficient way to kill our opponent. And these good decks like Tron and Modern are so good that if you're not pairing your disruption with a clock, you're really just not going to be able to beat them before they reassemble their thing. I heard someone say Bridgevine was 3 of the top 4 decks of the Modern Challenge on Saturday. I wasn't able to verify that firsthand, and I don't think they've posted those results yet. It'll be good to see when they come up what they look like, though. So if my opponent's payoff is creature-based, like Wormcoil Engine, we could potentially have a shot this game. If they have Karns, Oblivion Stones, Ugins, we're probably just gonna be too far gone. If Bridgevine and Neoform combo are both legal for this next Pro Tour, Lordy, our magic is gambling motto could really come to fruition. Ugin the Ineffable. That's like super beatable, right? I get to just like Winds of Abandon this and then attack it. Wait, are they playing Badtron? If they're playing Badtron, we have a real chance. Mindstone implies that they're playing... Yeah, Mindstone implies that they're playing Eldrazi Tron, which is real good for the home team. Oh, geez. And by real good for the home team, I mean we're still incredibly dead. Still incredibly dead. I mean, Ugin cast them, like, they cast this Ugin, and then he made 6 mana this turn, right? Like, the Ugin cost them 6, but it made this cheaper, and this cheaper. Like, that seemed pretty reasonable for our opponent's side of the board. Yeah, Spyglass tags Karn. Also tags random things like Ugin. Where's all our art? That's just Moto doing Moto things. Yeah, Ugin has a static ability that oft isn't relevant in Standard, but it was super relevant there. When I got to make a bunch of mana with him. Hey, what's going on, random guy? This is fine, right? I love how people were making a big deal out of the Moto reskin when, like, the only part of Moto they actually spent time reskinning is a part that you really don't spend any time actually looking at, right? Like, they just redid the play lobby. This card was busted in Standard, chat. She speak ill of my Thraben Inspector. Sure. Thraben Inspector is really good at driving cars, I agree. Concur. So, like, I could Flickerwisp this to 0, but I think I'd rather draw an extra card next turn. I don't have a path currently. I'm going to regret this if I draw a path, though. This gives me a pretty efficient use of my mana next turn, though, because I get to go, like, crack clue, crack clue. Well, they can't Thought Not Me just yet, because Damping Sphere is making their Eldrazi Temples only make 1. Thraben is Tireless Tracker. It's, they share a mechanic. They definitely share a mechanic. My opponent and I are both basically playing 3-power creatures to draw a card. Poor little 1/2. Doing their best with the hand they've been dealt in life. It's kind of a shame we drew the Winds of Abandon. Because they get to take that, and that's a removal spell that could kill this through a Chalice. Yeah, there's a bunch of... I saw a number of spoilers up before I went live this morning. I got gifted a sub before I could re-up my Prime. Any suggestions on who to spend your Prime on? Ali Andrazi just started streaming full-time. He's also a member of the Tempo Storms. He does reasonable stuff. Land tier is great because Damping Sphere is notable. Wyatt's another good one. Yep. Wyatt did commentary this weekend at the NRG thing, and he was very good. He is a person with a lot of professional Magic experience, and it definitely shows. Wyatt Darby. He has a more competitive focus in his streams, but he's very good at articulating himself, similar to myself, on what he's doing and why he's doing it. If you have more of a Spike leaning, I would definitely encourage you to check out his stuff. Ellie is the king of greed. That's a great way to put it. Allie's a big fan of never losing to mid-range and always dying to the aggro deck. All right, that's a card. We're one shy of overloading it here, but I think I'm supposed to go ahead and just do this now on the Thought Knots here, so I can draw a card, potentially work myself towards the 6th land. Feel like I don't want to just like not use my mana this turn. Although getting them to their 7th mana is scary, because like now they're in like Ugin and Karn range. Limb Nursery coming in for the 2/3 of a year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. And Tal Rand, a bit late on a year and a half. Throw this into some more elves, modern or standard. Love the little green men and what you do. Thanks for the tier 3. I appreciate it. Welcome back around. Worth noting, this Path to Exile does not currently have text because we've got a Chalice of the Void in play. Endbringer. Yep. So, getting kind of punished for not getting rid of the Chalice of the Void earlier. No art on Damping Sphere makes it hard to read the board state. What are you talking about? The entire text box of this card is present. Did anybody remember those arguments from early in the Arena days? People were like, there's no text boxes on the cards. You can't read them while they're on the screen. It's like, dude, you can't read most of the cards on Moto either because they're so flippin' tiny. All right, nothing quite embodies playing a deck like this. Like, hoping to draw a land and drawing another uncastable 6-drop. 6 months of spreadsheets and actual video games. What's going on, Dumping Truck? I appreciate the half a year. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. All right, let's dive back into another one here. Speaking of actual video games, I think while we're in the low point for the next 2 weeks, I might actually stream some actual video games at some point. It's been a while since we've done an Overwatch stream. And play a little bit of that on occasion. I downloaded, a Killing Floor the other day. Although that game's a little bit violent, so maybe I don't want to play that one on stream. I think that one's rated M. There's lots of blood. That's a good brainless shooting game. Drakkenstern, thanks for the 8 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. The Auto Chess just got Knife Cat. Auto Chess got its official standalone client. So I might finally give that a try. Yeah, I played a ton of Killing Floor 1 back in undergrad. Yeah, looks like Ponza. I guess I should have fetched on 1. I think the fetch lands in this deck are probably stupid. I guess they work with Sun Titan, but they've just been awkward and cost me life points so far in this league. Named Red, I assume, right? Yeah, they named Red. Oh, you better believe when we stream. I guess they're okay with Crucible too. You better believe when we stream some Dota Underlords later, the stream title's gonna be MPL Audition Stream. Yeah, I played a ton of Counter-Strike during high school and undergrad, and Overwatch was the first player v player shooter I played in a long time that felt fun from a casual perspective. Felt fun even when I wasn't winning. There's a lot of wacky characters. Thankfully, my deck has infinite lands in it, so this is going kind of okay for us. And eventually, I assume they're going to run out of land destruction spells, and then we're going to be okay. Hostage, just so it's clear that that's a joke, and I will never be present in the MPL or probably anything Wizards official. Well, here we are. Here we are. Yes, Zach is going to be working for, Zach is working for, the play design team starting at some point soon. Wow, they just down-ticked that Chandra. Deal? I guess they think they're going to be able to beat me down with these. Yep, yeah, Zach Elsick. He is UTD Zach in chat when he pops up. He's frequents here. All right, that makes sense in destroying my 0-4 here. Probably going to get killed by these before I have time to recover with this Crucible. Being on the draw was a pretty big beating, as it often is in Magic. Yeah, I just don't have time to recover. This is a good, just like classic example of modern disruption plus a clock, right? Like, their disruption in this case was destroying 3 of my lands, and they had a bunch of 3-power creatures as a clock. When was the last time? I did not respond to deck submissions over the weekend, Bant. We left Thursday shortly after I signed off, and I have not looked at them since. Okay. All deck submissions will go out later this evening. Torcat, thanks to 11 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Believe it or not, I really don't have sideboard cards for the Pawns matchup. I'm going to bring in 2 Lone Missionaries as 2/1s for 2. Is there any way, Loss, to fix the field? But I think I really wish they would experiment with ways to fix the being on the draw. One of my personal favorite recommendations would be, I think the player on the draw should start with 8 cards in their hand, and then just not draw a card on turn 1. So, like, both players skip their first draw step, but the player on the draw just starts up a card so they get to make better mulliganing decisions. I think something like that would be very easy. I think starting with a Lotus Petal, like the coin from Hearthstone, 1 is too Hearthstone-y, and 2, it probably gives too much of an advantage in certain situations like combo decks. So I'd rather try and innovate with new ideas rather than just copy and paste what other people are doing. I mean, paper Magic in general is just easy to screw up. Like, anybody who's played a standard tournament since they printed all these planeswalkers with static abilities should know paper Magic has infinite screw-ups. So, like, saying don't do this because paper players are going to screw it up basically means just don't play Magic. Magic's got a lot going on. It's very easy for people to mess up. Yay! Magic! Yay! Modern! Alright, I'm gonna give this deck at least one more shake here. Gonna give it at least one more shake. The London Mulligan does. See, I disagree with you. See, you're trying to make arguments about what's easier for people fundamentally as a whole. Like the London Mulligan, let's take for example, people are easily going to forget at certain points. Oh, am I going to 5 or am I going to 4? Like they're talking and BSing. Like how many cards am I going to? I just had 7 cards in my hand twice in a row, or was it 3 times in a row? What am I mulliganing to now? How many cards am I supposed to put on the bottom? There's plenty of opportunities in basically everything where you add this extra thing for people to mess up. Like people are not computers. People mess things up constantly. I loosened up my deck submission requirements surrounding the Modern Horizons release, and it was definitely a mistake. We've played a number of stinkers in the last week, and I'm going back to rejecting more modern decks. We've got a few that slipped through, but for the most part, it was in fact a huge mistake. Done a good deal of just getting beat up playing decks that are just like low power level and mediocre. I think every good deck gets better with the London Mulligan, and every deck that's only doing well because the opponents occasionally mulligan and don't play Magic is going to get worse. All the efficient good modern decks like Tron, like Dredge, like Hagak, Scale Up Prowess. Definitely rejected that one. Does this deck have a way in its 75 to kill Bridge? Is this my only way to kill? Is this my only way in the 75 to kill an Ensnaring Bridge? Right? Oh, this kills. Okay, we've got 2 Cleansing Novas. So maybe we've got a shot. We've got Flickerwisp too. Good call. Good call. Got a chip and a chair. Chip and a chair. Got some Cleansing Novas and some Flickerwisps. Telegraph. Thank you for the 5-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. So tap artifacts for blue mana. Exile the top card of your library. You can play without paying its mana costs. So they've got a lot of stuff. That, Yep. It's technically free, right? Because it costs 2 mana, but it makes a mana and it makes a Thopter that makes a mana with the Psy. Did they make KCI again? No, but this deck goes infinite with Thopter Sword, I believe, right? Urza, Thopter Foundry Sword goes infinite. Sacrifice 2 Ichor Wellsprings to my Psy. Seems pretty good. Ichor Wellspring is secretly one of the best artifacts in Modern. It might be. We're like pretty dead at this point, right? Yeah, I'm gonna be done with this deck. This deck like doesn't. I kind of regret accepting this one. This deck like just doesn't generate particularly like even the match we won. Like what this deck is doing isn't super interesting. It's just like doing this incredibly fair thing, and like the power level of the incredibly fair thing it's doing is like way too low. Just like you don't have, so like comparing this to say the other good fair decks in Modern, so like compared to something like Jund or Green Black or Death Shadow, this deck doesn't have something that's a really efficient clock like Tarmogoyf or a Delve Threat or you know, Death Shadow itself. And then this deck also doesn't have incredibly efficient interaction outside of Path to Exile. So like if your opponent, what they're doing doesn't care specifically about the creatures that they're playing, this deck isn't really able to keep up with them in terms of interaction. So like for example, the one deck we did beat was a very creature-centric deck that also stumbled and died in the second game, I suppose, to think about too. So yeah, this is definitely one of the things that we've played in history's past, and it's always one of those decks that whenever I play it, I'm like, I don't really understand why people play this. At least for me personally, the play patterns aren't particularly interesting.